Hi, this is Scott Novak of Synergy Wellness Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency in Chandler, Arizona that serves health and wellness practitioners to get more patients with digital marketing. Now, I wanted to make a quick video for you and show you some very interesting things that I found about your website and a couple of ways I could help you improve your visibility to potential patients that are searching for your services online and convert those potentials into more patients, grow your practice, get more revenue coming in the door by the end of the year. And whether we work together or not is totally up to you. What I really want to do in this video is to be as helpful as I can and pass on some information that you may not have known, and ultimately to empower you to learn more about ways to grow your practice. So let's get started. So to get more patients, the majority of people now are searching online, so we want a strong web presence. Now, there's a variety of different strategies out there, and I'm going to cover those as briefly as I can. And by the way, I've made this video into two sections, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is where we are now, and that's the foundation. Part 2 won't make as much sense unless you've already gone through the quick video here in part 1. So your online presence overall needs two primary things. These are essential things. Number one is to get traffic coming to your site. Get people visiting your website and learning about you. And there's some psychology in, once they're there, and that comes into play in part 2. Convert those new traffic, these new visitors to your site into new patients. So how do we do that? Well, the first part is traffic. Obviously, prospective patients need to find you. You need to be not invisible. You have to be easily found. And there's two ways of getting traffic. One is organically, and that's on the search engines like Google and YouTube. This is known through search engine optimization, also known as SEO. Search engine optimization. And the second method is through paid advertisements. And this could be Google AdWords, Facebook ads, YouTube ads. There's a variety of different tactics that we could do. The second part is conversion. Now, they have a problem that they need solved. Once they're on your site, they want to know if you can solve that problem. Like this fine gentleman over here needs probably a better, smaller pair of hearing aids. There's some psychology that goes into this, though. You have to convert the curious into actual appointments. So if you don't have a site with the right conversion psychology, all the traffic in the world won't help. So I'm gonna get into this conversion topic first before the traffic. Now, I used to not do this. I used to just focus on the traffic. But I realized after doing this for a couple of years now that there are so many sites that just, once you're there, it doesn't do anything. You're not connecting with the potential patient. So I understood after just doing this as long as I have, that psychology plays a way bigger part in converting. And like I say, if your site doesn't have that conversion psychology, we could send 1 million customers to your site, but they just aren't going to connect and they're lost. So there's 4 steps. The first part is the objective questions. When somebody lands on your website, they want to know, am I in the right place? Are you a local clinic to me? Are you conveniently located? And if so, let's proceed. Second, do you offer specifically what I need to solve my problem? So there can't be any incongruency. There can't be any confusion, because people make a decision within 5 seconds, or they click off and they hit the back button and they're on to somebody else. We don't want that. We want to captivate them in our message, and that's part of parts 3 and 4. So let's say that they've answered yes to those first 2 questions, and now we get into the subjective. We've got to convert the skeptic. My favorite skeptic is Agent Scully over here. So we've got to turn her from a skeptic to a believer. And there's 2 primary questions that are part of this. That is, do I like you? Do I trust you? And can I see myself working with you? And that's a really big component. There's a lot of trust that goes into this, and you can measure the value of a lifetime customer. So this is very important to your conversion rates. Then let's say that they've gotten a good feeling about you and they think you're pretty cool. And then they're going to go on to the last point, and that is, how are you different than anybody else that seemed cool? So this is known as a USP, unique specialty proposition, or also known as a unique sales proposition. So these things have to be on your site. Conversion requires a lot of psychology, and this is by delivering effective pictures that paint the picture, really match the picture that's painted in their mind that solves the problem, and you have to deliver that in a matching kind of way. And then the content on the page, the words on your page, need to explain what you do very clearly and very quickly. What you don't want on your site is a super huge block of text that gets into clinical research and PubMed and all this stuff. That's awesome in a blog, but not on the homepage and not on a site that you need to answer these questions that people had very quickly, because people make a decision within 5 to 10 seconds on a website. The last point of this is persuasive language. The words written on your page need to deliver that trust, but they also need to have a call to action, and that is to schedule an appointment, to visit us and learn more, to find out more about your problem. And there's a variety of different methods here. So that's conversion, really, really important. The second major topic here is traffic, and that is getting those searchers that search for a solution to their problem online to take your exit, basically, to check you out. So how easy is it to find you? Visibility is huge, just like a restaurant, right? It's very visible right downtown on Main Street. You want to be as visible as possible to your customers online. And there are research studies, and I don't want to bore you with charts or anything, but check this out. On average, 71% of searches happen only on page 1, organic click. So that's almost 3/4 of searches stop after page 1. So if you're not on page 1 of Google, it's really tough to be found. You're practically invisible. So the number 1 search actually gets 31% of all the clicks. And number 2 drops down in half to 14%, and then 10%, and 7, 5, and down we go. And if you're down here on page 4 or page 10 or wherever, you're just fighting for scraps, and it's really tough. But you can imagine if you were number 1, how many clicks you could get, what would that do to your bottom line? So just some credibility here things here. What I wanted to do is show you some results that I've gotten, and not to get too deep in the weeds here, but I've taken clients from pretty much flat line here to, you see the visibility chart going up. This is a good projection here, and this is a home builder that I worked with in Minneapolis. Now, I've recently changed over to health and wellness practitioners. The topics are the same, the tactics are the same. It's just I'm following my passion a little more. So I do the same things, though. I look at keyword research, keyword volume. We look at where we started, where we've improved over the life. Here's another client. Really good keyword movement here. Started out at 44, moved up 37 spots to number 7, and that was just in 2 months. Here's another client, just a good looking chart here. So I don't do this to impress you, but just impress upon you that I know how to get results, and I'm not just talking here. So the way that I've done that is through SEO, search engine optimization. This is my core understanding, and this is where I've come from, but I've fleshed that out with with advertising techniques, and I've brought on some specialists that have really filled out my agency. So there's a lot of things that go into this organic listing, like the content on your page, the mobile friendliness, the optimization, your load speed, keywords on the page, your links, a lot of things involved. I'm going to cover that a little bit in the next video, but really, it comes down to these 4 points. It's the content on your page. Do you have relevant keywords that your patients are looking for? The citations. Are you in the prominent directories and search engines? Are you mobile friendly? And most people are now on your site, the site build. And do you have a trusted site in the eyes of Google? And I've got a very powerful secret weapon when it comes to that. But these 4 things combined add up synergistically, no pun intended, to more traffic and more patients and ultimately more revenue. So that's kind of the overview of where I'm going with all this. So let's take a look at your site.